Alright then, welcome back to the Silent Corridor and another truly unsettling tale. Today, we're delving deep into a real-life horror experience that centers around a haunted hotel room. It's an account so profound, it completely shattered the beliefs of a staunch skeptic. What's more, the mystery surrounding these events remains utterly unsolved, and it's a struggle our protagonist is still grappling with today. This story is the genuine experience of Ethan, who works in a corporate firm in Chicago, and his girlfriend, now his wife, Chloe. Their lives were irrevocably altered after a stay in a seemingly ordinary hotel room. So, let's get into it. It began as just another day in Ethan's life, save for one significant detail. It was Chloe's birthday. He'd booked a room at a hotel in a suburban area just outside Chicago as a surprise. A little getaway to celebrate and spend some quality time together. The hotel room itself was pretty standard, located in an area they'd visited before. Nothing about the place seemed out of the ordinary. They checked in, and the room was already decorated for the birthday celebration, just as Ethan had arranged. After cutting the cake and exchanging gifts, Chloe decided to freshen up and went into the bathroom. Ethan, meanwhile, stretched out on the bed, perhaps having a fag or just relaxing for a moment. When Chloe emerged from the bathroom, she came over and sat down on the bed beside him. As she leaned closer, Ethan suddenly recoiled, a look of sheer terror flashing across his face. The person sitting next to him had changed. Right before his eyes, her nose seemed elongated, her eyes unnaturally large and wide. There was a strange, dark veil or something similar obscuring part of her face, and what looked like bizarre antique jewelry, perhaps earrings and some sort of facial ornament, adorned her. Her face was contorted into a ghastly expression. She looked to him like some kind of malevolent entity. Ethan shoved her away with all his might. She stumbled back, hitting the wall with a proper thud. "Who are you?" he shouted, his voice trembling. From the wall, he heard Chloe's confused voice. "Ethan, are you barmy? Why did you push me like that? I hit the wall." But Ethan was still seeing the horrifying apparition where Chloe stood. "Who are you?" he repeated, backing away on the bed, scrambling backwards. Chloe, utterly bewildered by his behavior, started to approach him cautiously, trying to figure out what was wrong. But as she moved towards him, Ethan's panic intensified. He kept shrinking back until his back hit the headboard. Trapped and terrified, he crouched down on the bed, holding his hands out defensively in front of him. As Chloe reached him and gently touched his arm, he reacted instinctively. He swatted her hand away violently, and without another thought, scrambled off the bed and bolted out of the hotel room as fast as his legs could carry him. Chloe was stunned. She didn't understand what had just happened or why Ethan had reacted that way. She quickly followed him out into the hallway. She found him standing outside the door, looking utterly shaken. It was only then, away from the room, that Ethan saw the real Chloe again. Her normal face, her familiar expression. "What on earth happened? Why did you run out?" she asked, concerned. He stammered out his explanation, describing how her face had changed, how she'd looked like some hideous witch-like figure with the veil and the strange features. Chloe was understandably skeptical. "Ethan, that's crackers. I didn't change. Look at me." She touched his arm again, trying to reassure him. "It must have been your imagination, or maybe you saw something like that in a scary film recently." "No, I swear blind, Chloe. I saw it. Your face. It wasn't yours. Something else was there," he insisted, still visibly distressed. He couldn't prove what he saw, of course, but the experience had properly rattled him to his core. Chloe couldn't convince him it wasn't real. They decided there and then that they couldn't possibly stay in that room. They quickly packed up their things and legged it out of the hotel. That incident marked the beginning of something truly disturbing in Ethan's life. Just a day or two after that terrifying hotel visit, Ethan was asleep in his bed at home. It was late, maybe around 2 or 3 in the morning, when his eyes snapped open. Standing at the foot of his bed was a woman. It was the same woman he had seen that day, the one whose face had appeared over Chloe's. He shot up in bed, a scream catching in his throat. "Who are you? What do you want?" he yelled. As soon as the words left his mouth, the figure vanished. His mother, hearing his shout, came rushing into his room. "Ethan, what happened? Are you all right?" He told her what he had seen. She looked visibly disturbed at first, then sighed. "Ethan, how many times have I told you? Don't slosh on aftershave and go gallivanting off to strange places late at night. You're simply asking for trouble." As his mother said this, something clicked in Ethan's mind. He realized she was spot on. The day of the hotel incident, he had been wearing a particular aftershave, and tonight, just before going to bed, he had put on the exact same one. Could that really be it? An aftershave? It seemed utterly barking mad. He tried to dismiss the idea. "No, Mum, it can't be the aftershave. That's ridiculous." He pushed the thought aside, attributing the apparition to a vivid nightmare perhaps brought on by the stress of the hotel incident. For the next week or two, he didn't see the woman again, and he started to convince himself it had indeed been just a bad dream. But then, one day, his family had guests over. It was a lovely gathering, and his mother had prepared a special dessert for everyone. That evening, Ethan again put on that specific aftershave, the one he liked and usually saved for special occasions. He had some of the dessert and then popped out for a while. He returned home about half an hour later. As he walked through the front door, his father was sitting upstairs. The moment Ethan stepped inside, his father suddenly leapt up and charged towards the door, looking absolutely furious. He grabbed a broom handle that was standing nearby, yelling, "Who are you? Stop right there! What do you want in my house?" Ethan was utterly baffled. He hadn't seen anyone behind him or anywhere near the door. He watched, dumbfounded, as his father stormed out onto the street, brandishing the broom handle, yelling and chasing something that simply was not there. His father ran a fair old distance, shouting, "Get out of my house, what do you want?" before finally stopping and flinging the broom handle down the street in frustration. When his father came back, breathless and agitated, Ethan asked him what on earth had transpired. His father explained that as Ethan walked in, he saw a woman right behind him. She wasn't human, Ethan. Looked like some sort of spirit. Maybe an upper air creature, as they say. His father looked shaken. He confirmed he saw her clearly, right behind Ethan, and she seemed to vanish when she realized she was seen. This incident sent a chill right down Ethan's spine. It wasn't just him. Someone else had seen her too. The entity was real. That very same night, Ethan was asleep again when he woke with a jolt, feeling an immense pressure on his chest. He opened his eyes and his blood ran cold. The same woman was sitting directly on top of him, her hands reaching for his throat. He struggled desperately, gasping for air. Suddenly, the weight lifted. The woman was off him, but before he could react, she grabbed his hand and began to pull. As she pulled, he felt a strange sensation, as if his very being, his soul, was being drawn out of his body. She was pulling him without a word towards the front door of the house. Panicked, he wrenched his hand free and scrambled back. As he did, he looked towards his bed and saw his own body lying there, still asleep. It was a terrifying out-of-body experience. Seeing himself like that sent him into a fresh wave of fear, and he retreated further into the house. He ran through the rooms, seeing his family, his mother, father, siblings, all asleep in their beds. He tried to call out to them, to wake them, but no sound came out, and they didn't stir. All the while, the woman pursued him, silently, trying to grab his hand again, trying to pull him towards the front door. He didn't understand what was happening or what she wanted. Then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped. She vanished. He woke up back in his body, gasping, his heart pounding. He looked around the room, disoriented. Was it a dream? It felt so real. He lay there for a long time, unable to decipher if it was a nightmare or something truly horrifying. Eventually, he drifted back to sleep. When he woke in the morning, the memory of the entire ordeal was chillingly clear. But now, alongside the fear, a new feeling had emerged. Curiosity. Why did she want to pull him outside? What did she want? Why didn't she speak? He was desperate to understand. For several days after that, the woman didn't appear, and he didn't feel her presence. Everything seemed to return to normal. Then, one evening, Ethan went to a friend's birthday bash at a place on a motorway service station just outside the city. He had a few drinks and headed home late, perhaps around 2 in the morning. As he got into bed, just as his head hit the pillow, she was back. This time she seemed absolutely livid. She reached out, grabbed his hair, and began to drag him, pulling him forcefully off the bed and towards the door. He screamed, loud and desperate. "Mom! Mom, where are you taking me? Help me!" His mother, sleeping nearby, heard his screams and rushed into his room. She saw him lying on the floor, struggling, his hands clutched above his head as if grabbing onto something invisible, his body being dragged. He wasn't just pulling his own hair. He was holding onto something that was holding his hair. "Mom, save me! She's taking me somewhere!" he yelled. His mother ran to him. "Ethan, what on earth is it?" As she reached him, the invisible grip released, and he crumpled onto the floor. He opened his eyes. His mother was standing over him. The woman was gone. He told her everything that had just happened. His mother, still shaken, looked at him sternly. "Good heavens, Ethan. I told you. And were you wearing that aftershave again?" The words hit him. He realized with a sickening certainty that yes, he had put on that same aftershave before going to the party. The connection was undeniable now. He was terrified. "Mum, please sleep in here with me tonight," he pleaded. His mother agreed, staying with him. The next morning, the aftershave was the first thing on his mind. How could a scent be causing this? Why was this aftershave attracting her? And why did she keep trying to drag him outside? Determined to understand, he went to his collection of aftershaves. He picked up the bottle, the specific one he'd used on every occasion the woman had appeared. He'd bought it a while ago and really liked the scent, which was why he usually saved it for special events. He put that bottle aside. Ethan, remember, was a complete skeptic. He didn't believe in ghosts, spirits, or anything supernatural. Everything that had happened, he had tried to rationalize as dreams, stress, or tricks of the mind. But the incident with his father, and now the undeniable link to the aftershave, was challenging everything he thought he knew. He decided he had to test this theory properly. He would use a different aftershave each evening and go out for a while around midnight or 2 a.m., just as he had before. He wanted to see if anything happened. He did this for several nights, using up bottle after bottle from his collection. Nothing. No apparitions, no strange feelings, nothing. Finally, only the problem bottle remained. He knew this was the real test. He decided he was just going to have to get on with it. One night, everyone in the house was asleep, probably around 1 or 2 a.m. He quietly got the bottle, applied the aftershave generously, and went up to the roof of his house. He stood there, waiting. Just a few minutes passed when suddenly she appeared. Standing about 8 to 10 feet away from him, visible in the faint light, it was her, exactly as he remembered from the first day. The long, unnaturally thin face, the huge, piercing eyes, the dark veil, the strange jewelry, the long, dark, flowing dress. He was seeing her with his own eyes, wide awake, fully conscious. As he stared, mesmerized by terror, she moved, not walking, but as if the distance between them simply compressed. In a fraction of a second, she was standing directly in front of him. Her eyes were fixed on his, and he felt an intense, unfamiliar force locking him in place. He couldn't move a muscle, couldn't even flinch. It was as if his very soul was being scrutinized by those eyes. Then she leaned closer, her face mere inches from his, and whispered, the sound like dry leaves rustling, "Come with me." Ethan, terrified but driven by that persistent curiosity, managed to stammer, "Who are you? What do you want? Where are you taking me?" As he spoke, she vanished. Just like that, gone. He stood on the roof for a long time, waiting, hoping she would reappear, that she would answer his questions, but she didn't. The encounter left him with more questions than answers. Who was she? Why did she only appear with that specific aftershave? Why did she want to take him somewhere? And where? His curiosity about her only intensified. He tried using the aftershave again on subsequent nights, returning to the roof, hoping to contact her, to demand answers, but she never returned to him there. He couldn't figure out why she had shown herself clearly that one time and then disappeared again. He was consumed by thoughts of her, day and night, wondering who she was and what she wanted. During this time, he had to travel to a small town upstate with his cousin for some errands. They finished later than expected and were driving back. It was late, maybe around 9 or 10 p.m. Ethan was driving, his cousin in the passenger seat. As they drove along the dark road, suddenly, in the beam of his headlights, he saw something. It was the woman crossing the road ahead. He froze, his hands gripping the steering wheel, staring, unable to react. When he finally snapped back to reality, it was too late. He swerved, the car careened off the road, crashing violently into something on the side. The right front bumper and tire were completely knackered. Shaken from the crash, he looked up. She was still there, standing near the damaged car, watching them. Then she vanished. Ethan and his cousin were stuck on a desolate stretch of road with no one around and a broken-down car. They somehow managed to push the car further off the road. As they stood there, the chilling reality of their location dawned on them. They heard a strange, faint cackling sound, and looking to their left, they saw a dark, overgrown area. It was a cemetery. They could see a faint glow, a pyre that had burned during the day and was now smoldering. They were stuck in a cemetery. It was cold December. They couldn't leave the car unattended for fear of parts being nicked. Their calls home for help would take time. They had no choice but to spend the night in the car, parked beside the cemetery. Ethan couldn't bring himself to tell his cousin about the woman. He was terrified, wondering why she had appeared here, causing the accident at such a place. Fortunately, the woman didn't reappear during that night. Help eventually arrived, and they got the car towed and repaired. After that incident, Ethan didn't see her again for quite a while. Things seemed to return to a fragile sense of normalcy, but the calm didn't last. Just recently, the incident started again, more intensely. Ethan was driving home late one night after dropping off Chloe. He was talking to her on his car's Bluetooth speaker, just having a normal conversation. Suddenly, Ethan's voice changed. "Chloe," he said, his tone tense. "I'm seeing her again. She's standing every 100 yards or so along the road with some dogs." Chloe, remembering previous incidents, tried to keep him calm. "Ethan, it's okay. It's just your mind playing tricks. Don't focus on it." No, she's there. And she's beckoning me. She wants me to come." Ethan's voice was rising in panic. "Listen to me, Ethan," Chloe said firmly. "Ignore her. Turn your attention away. Say a prayer. Tell her to leave you alone, that you have no business with her." Then Ethan said, his voice barely a whisper, "She's in the car. She's sitting in the passenger seat." Chloe's heart pounded. "Ethan, just say a prayer, okay? Don't look at her. Pray." At this point, over the speaker, Chloe heard a strange, guttural laugh erupt from Ethan, followed by a terrifying shift in his voice. It was deeper, colder, and completely alien. "Leave him," the voice rasped through the speaker. "Can you hear me? Leave him. He is mine. I will take him with me." Chloe was stunned. "Who is this? What are you saying? Ethan, why is your voice like that?" The voice responded, "It is I who speaks. Can you hear? Leave him alone. He is mine, and I will take him with me." Chloe's mind reeled. "Who are you? What absolute rot are you talking about?" Then, Ethan's normal voice returned, panicked and trembling. "Chloe, she's right here, sitting next to me. She's staring at me." Chloe didn't know what to do. She could hear Ethan babbling on the speaker, clearly terrified, saying the woman was right beside him. Ethan had lost control of the car, though he wasn't consciously aware of it. Suddenly, the car stopped. Chloe heard the woman's voice return over the speaker, directed at her, laced with malice. "Well, shall I show you now?" "Show me what?" Chloe demanded, fear gripping her. "Look, the car is stopped outside the cemetery," the voice cackled. "Make him spit blood, make him vomit blood, take him inside." Chloe was absolutely petrified. She put her hands together and pleaded into the phone. "Whoever you are, please leave him alone. What have we ever done to you? Why are you doing this? Please just leave him." Over the speaker, she heard the woman's harsh, triumphant laughter. Then, silence. After about 2 minutes, the call disconnected. Chloe frantically tried calling Ethan back, but he didn't answer. She was beside herself with worry. She called his mother and explained everything. Ethan's mother also tried calling him, but his phone was off. Meanwhile, Ethan was driving again, though he had no memory of how he started or where he was going. He found himself on Interstate 55, completely disoriented. He didn't want to drive, but he felt no control over his body. He somehow managed to regain a sliver of consciousness and pulled the car over to the side of the motorway. He got out of the car and began to wander aimlessly along the shoulder of the road, stumbling around, instinctively avoiding the passing traffic. He felt completely disconnected, his mind struggling to assert control. Eventually, he sank down onto the ground, fighting a desperate internal battle for his own mind and body. After what felt like an eternity, he finally felt a sense of clarity return. He looked around, confused. Where was he? He got back into the car, still shaken but fully back in control. He called his mother. "Mom, I'll be home in 5 minutes. Have the parking gate open." When he arrived, his family was waiting. Incredibly relieved, they noticed something else. He was experiencing uncontrollable shivers, a strange trembling, similar to what his younger sister sometimes experienced. He held his mother's hand, and then his sister's hand, and the tremors subsided a little. They immediately took off his t-shirt, which smelled strongly of a strange, unknown aftershave. Not one of his own, but a completely different, unfamiliar scent. They left the t-shirt outside the house. Inside, they brought out holy water and performed a blessing ritual, sprinkling the water over him, murmuring prayers. He slowly calmed down, but the strange aftershave smell lingered on him. His mother stayed with him throughout the night. The next morning, he recounted the terrifying events of the drive and the phone call to Chloe. They were both deeply disturbed. They decided to seek professional help and contacted a paranormal expert. When they spoke to the expert and explained everything, the expert's response was surprisingly simple. She is appearing to him repeatedly for one reason only: because he is curious about her. Since that first time she appeared in the hotel room, his mind has been filled with questions about her. His curiosity is calling her. He needs to stop thinking about her. The expert explained that the entity was dangerous, but she would only appear when actively or passively invited. And Ethan's intense curiosity was, in essence, inviting her. They underwent some kind of spiritual cleansing or treatment with the expert. Since then, Ethan hasn't seen the woman. The shivers still occur sometimes, but he's learned to control them. The expert's advice seems to have worked for now, but Ethan still isn't entirely free. That lingering curiosity, that burning desire to know who she is, what she wanted, and where she intended to take him, remains. He feels a sense of unresolved tension, a feeling that he hasn't heard the last of her. He even considered going back to that original hotel room where it all began, thinking the answer might lie there. But the paranormal expert strictly advised against it, warning that it could provoke the entity further. He's trying his best not to dwell on it, to push the thoughts away, but who knows, perhaps one day, that curiosity will outweigh the caution, and he'll return to that hotel room, seeking to unravel the mystery of the woman who haunted him. If that happens, you can be sure I'll share the story. So, what do you make of it? Who do you think the woman Ethan saw is? Was she just a manifestation of his fear? Or was there genuinely an entity attached to that hotel room? Or perhaps to something else entirely? What do you think she wanted to tell Ethan? Was there some tragedy connected to her that she wanted Ethan to uncover? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this story, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be bringing you more unique and real-life stories just like this. Until next time, keep exploring and keep wondering.